There was concern about my health around 4 years ago, and since then I've just kind of been monitored because it wasn't really a big concern at that time. When I did find out I was pregnant, it was super exciting for my husband and I. We've been together for 15 years, and this like dream family that we, had envisioned together. When I found out there was a health concern was at just my follow-up, and we still thought it was benign. It was, oh, okay, this looks a little bit off, but still just thinking that it's benign. We're just going to have it removed and do further tests. 6 months pregnant, I have surgery, and I find out that it was cancerous. I found out it was actually called malignant phylloides, which is a very rare sarcoma of the connective tissue in your breast. And essentially, because it's so rare, there's very little studies on it. The only things that they can do are surgery to try and get all of the cancer cells gone away from it because they spread. So it was my second surgery where I had to go alone. Couldn't have a support person, and I wouldn't have any sedation, just local freezing essentially, because I was 7 months pregnant, and it was just too risky for my daughter. And it was the most traumatic 2 hours I've been through, mentally and physically. I think, when I got home that night, just digesting it all, is when I realized, I literally have no control over this. At that point is when I had to really just surrender it all to God, because there's not one part of this that I learned that I could actually control. So when I found out I had to get a third surgery, we decided on a 2-week early induction, which was the happy number between keeping her as healthy and safe as she could be, but then also giving me a very nice timeline to just be at home with her. She was born perfect, and my induction went so smoothly. Again, I was just always thanking God after it that I'm so glad I did give you control, because I don't know what my decision would have been. But then again, the fear starts settling in of how long do you get to be her mom? In those moments, it wasn't about God giving me answers, but I think they were answers in the form of comfort. It is true that God's heart breaks when your heart breaks, and I felt that. I did feel like he was it's okay to be sad. Just, finding comfort in him. So essentially 2 areas were now clear, but there was still one area where the cancer cells were spreading, and they just had to go back in. And this time it was going to be final, because I was going to have a unilateral mastectomy. We are super thankful that I did that surgery, because there was also another tumor in a completely different area that, had I not had that final surgery, probably would have grown itself too. And we were just flabbergasted, and we just were just thank you, God, you're the only one that knew that was there. And that was the surgery I had to have to get rid of it all. My mission is now to be there for those women going through it, offering them the big bits of hope that I got. It's a gift that I get to carry out on behalf of Jesus's kingdom. Without my daughter, I don't know how a lot of it would have gone. I just want to teach her as much as I can about God's goodness, God's grace. I know that she will, because I'll get to share my story with her one day, which is not just my story, but it's our story together, which I hope will always encourage her and just make her faith unshakable. If I were to encourage a mom through a struggle, when there's a lot of fear and there's so much responsibility, it always seems, on our shoulders, but We just need to surrender it to God because He has the situation in His hands already, and really just have to live out in action what you believe of Him. So we say we trust Him, we say He's our comforter, and to let Him be those things.